What's up, YouTube? Coming back with another video. Coming back with another one. Black Lives Matter. Do black lives really matter? Do black lives really matter to Caucasians? Do black lives really matter to the Negro at all? Does it really matter? It seems like on both sides of the fence, or both sides of the equation, Caucasians don't matter. I mean, the Caucasians don't give a fuck or doesn't care about the Negro, and the Negro don't care about himself. Let's be real here, people. Let's be honest. Look at how many Negroes out here now trying to tear it down. The Black Lives Matter movement. They trying to tear it down, you know, trying to sound smart and intelligent, want to be logical, but they sound stupid. Yeah, I said it. You know, you're trying to sound smart, you're trying to sound intelligent, trying to use logic, but you're not using common sense. That's the one thing you're not using when it comes to this Black Lives Matter. Why these niggas fighting this Black Lives Matter? It almost like they're trying to justify, trying to reason the fact that these police officers, law enforcement, crooked cops is killing people violently in the streets. Innocent people, not all, but innocent people are being killed by police officers. And these people are happen to be colored, or a nigger, or a Negro. The majority, I guess the majority of them happen to be a person of color, or people of color. Some Caucasians get killed by police officers unjustly. And here's this movement that somebody came up with. I don't know who came up with the movement. I guess they thought they were doing something positive, you know, trying to stop police brutality or whatever the case is. But you got people shitting on the movement. People like Richard Sherman, people like Stephen A. Smith, people like he's a nobody. I mean, he's a YouTuber, but he's not a celebrity type of. He don't really have that celebrity status like the rest of them. But anyways, the guys all on YouTube bashing or making a mockery out of this Black Lives Matter movement. The question is, why? Why are you doing that? I'm pretty sure you don't know your fucking self. Like I said, you're just trying to sound intelligent, but you're making yourself look stupid, and you're making yourself as a people look stupid. Now, if you go back in time, back in time, or today, or yesterday, or last week, if a Caucasian was killed, if a Caucasian person was killed, look at the scenery. Isn't it beautiful, people? On the bridge going across the water. But like I was saying, now back to my video. When a Caucasian person was killed by a Negro or a savage, it could have been a lie. You know, a Caucasian might have lied and said, this nigger came in and killed my mother and whoever it was. These Caucasian savages would form mobs, would form, I guess you would say, yeah, mobs. They will form in large numbers of groups. and they will go searching, go looking for this nigga that killed their family members. Because in the back of their mind, black Caucasian lives matter to them. So they went hunting for the nigga. Went to the nigga's homes, drag a nigga out of his house, and burnt his families and kids. Drag a nigga out of his home, hang him by a tree. Because Caucasian lives matter. You ain't had Caucasians in the newspaper stating that, wait, what y'all doing? Don't kill them niggers. Shit, we kill ourselves. We gotta fix ourselves first. I bet you ain't had none of that shit going on. But you got these niggas all in the media talking about niggas gotta fix themselves. Well, we gotta fix ourselves first before we say, Black Lives Matter. Come on, man. I kind of understand what you're saying, don't get me wrong. But how can you fix your mouth on national television, on your platform, when you are in the suburb of your home, in a comfortable neighborhood, probably surrounded by mostly Caucasians, living comfortable? You're not in the trenches. I'm pretty sure you're not making any changes. I'm pretty sure ain't none of us trying to make any changes in the neighborhood. You're not out there in the trenches, but you telling us to get our shit together before we try to go after these police officers that's out here killing people unjustly, or they doing injustice to us in the streets. I don't want no crooked cop gunning me down for nothing. All because he had a fucking bad day. Probably didn't get no pussy that day. Probably didn't get his dick sucked that day. So now he out in the streets angry and upset and mad and looking for a nigga to take his frustration out on. I'm not trying to be that nigga. Hell no. But like I said though, when there was an uprising, they call it an uprising. You know, when the uprising was going on, and you had, you know, niggas out killing Caucasians. I mean, just killing them. I'll use Nat Turner for an example. When he had his army of slaves doing that uprising, and they were out killing Caucasians, because in Nat Turner's eyes, Black Lives Matter, and he wanted to free all his people. Now, in the eyes of the Caucasians, their lives mattered, so they formed the army, formed the group, and they went out to assassinate Nat Turner and his group. Because, like I said, in the eyes of the Caucasians, their lives mattered, their future mattered, and they killed Nat Turner and his army. I'm pretty sure he didn't have no Caucasian in the news or in the media. Even though it wasn't media, I guess it wasn't media on the level that we have it today. It wasn't that kind of media back then. I'm pretty sure he didn't have Caucasians out there saying, what about us? Let's clean ourselves together first. Let's clean our act up before we seek out and fight, kill Nat Turner. You think they were doing that? No. They were gearing up. They were getting ready to protect their culture and their future. And they went out to destroy Nat Turner. This is how I know niggas is cowardly. They're cowardly. Niggas are too cowardly to even clean up their own neighborhoods. They'd rather have the cops to do it. You know You hear him all the time. Well, he was a thug. He had a criminal record. He had a record as long as my arm. He didn't do nothing for the neighborhood. He was selling drugs. I'm glad the cop did kill him. This is the shit that niggas say out their mouth, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, they knocking the Black Lives Matter movement. They would rather have police come into the neighborhood and take out the trash for them. That's what that is. They would rather have cops come into the neighborhood and clean out the trash. That way, they don't have to do it. They don't have to. They don't have to do it at all. I mean, you hear niggas on YouTube saying that shit. Look at Thomas Sotomayor. He said he wish he could have a Darren Wilson on every fucking corner to kill niggas. Ain't that what he said? Because he too fucking cowardly to do it himself. That's the part I don't get, man. Niggas would rather have Caucasians killing niggas because they too cowardly to clean up their own fucking neighborhood. Yeah, get their money, get their little education, pack their bags, and leave everything else behind. Then wonder why it's so fucked up, because you abandoned it, you motherfucker. You abandoned it. That's why it's fucked up. That's why it's out of control. That's why it's running rampant. That's why it's savages in there. As y'all like to say, savages. That's why it's savages in the neighborhood. Because y'all turned y'all backs on it. And then you want these Caucasians to clean it up because you don't have the heart to. Fuck it. I would endorse black on black violence because it's needed. Yeah, I said it. Black on black violence is needed. We need that shit. Even though innocent kids get killed, I don't really like seeing that shit. You know, innocent people getting gunned down, but fucking cops doing it. I mean, you got trash on the street. You got no good niggas on the street out here selling dope, killing kids, killing women, robbing each other. Some of this trash need to be taken out. So niggas ain't got the heart to do nothing, man, at all. That's why you so against this Black Lives Matter movement, because you're cowards. You don't want to take the time to clean up your own neighborhood. Nigga, you ain't got the power to clean up your own neighborhood. You're powerless. But you fix your mouth to say that you the better black man. Nigga, fix your neighborhood. If you better, nigga, fix the neighborhood. Give everybody jobs. Make the government stop putting drugs and guns in the neighborhood. You can't do that. So-called better black man, but you want to talk shit about the Black Lives Matter movement.